About this, one lawmaker's request to recite the Pledge of Allegiance gets snubbed on Capitol Hill. Listen.
In the spirit of national unity and national pride, which I know we all aspire to do to a greater extent, that at the beginning of each meeting, the chair or one of the designees of the chair would have the opportunity to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I recognize myself to speak in opposition to the amendment. It's unnecessary.
Congressman Jerry Nadler there abruptly shutting down Matt Gaetz's request, saying the House begins every day with reciting the Pledge of Allegiance, and there's no need to do it twice in the same day. Joining us now to discuss is Judd Dunning. He's the author of the book 13 and a Half Reasons Not to Be a Liberal. That is on your screen there. Judd, good to see you. Should it matter how many times you say the Pledge of Allegiance, or should we be limited to just one time?
Look, patriotism is cool, sexy, and it imbues positivity. You've got to accentuate the positive. Why don't people want to start America brightly in the day? That's what was so great about Trump, right? I think if Cohen, it was Democrat Representative Steve Cohen who went after Gaetz. I think if he wants to worship the devil or China or the pantheistic planet, he can do so because of our First Amendment. But he's going to probably get his tail kicked in Tennessee, because I used to live in North Carolina, and those people take God pretty seriously. So the Pledge of Allegiance is just a powerful way to set the tone in any business organization. It's a business organization of trying to set a mission for America. And our mission is this nation was created under God. Why not connect to it?
What kind of standard does that set, if you will? You see someone like Jerry Nadler, who's been in Congress for several years, putting that down. Maybe there are folks out there watching, like teachers, that have their students say it within their classrooms. Do you think that deters them to move away from putting the Pledge of Allegiance within their classroom?
Well, I think the non-patriotic ones just got support from a bad example of moral relativism as the core of our nation versus healthy goodness or moral absolutism. You know, they actually did some studies. I mean, the Pledge of Allegiance came around in 1942 as being adopted. And then in 54, we added under God. It's not that old. It's not that old of a repressive conservative tradition. It's actually something, as we were moving forward in the nation about our growth, the exciting 50s, the country that we were. And, you know, I think we became that country again the last 4 years. So I think you should keep it up, and that example needs to be fought tooth and nail. They did one other study, too, is when they pulled it out of the schools, there were problems with fatherlessness and minority populations that increased. Something about setting the tone with the Pledge of Allegiance in the morning was actually important for kids in broken homes to actually be connected to God, something bigger than just their family as their total reality. So psychologically, there's a lot of other factors as well.
Yeah, I was talking to my coworker here, Rachel, about that just now. I remember saying the Pledge of Allegiance within the classroom every morning in elementary school. It's something that sticks with you, and that's what you teach your youngsters. Next on this, the Biden administration seems to be cracking down on former President Trump supporters. In fact, a recent article mentions this guy, Mr. Griffin here, the founder of Cowboys for Trump, who now sits in jail without bail. The organization's leader is behind bars as part of the Justice Department sweeping investigation into the breach at the Capitol last month. What kind of message does this send to Americans? Because at the same time, you understand justice does have to be served. If you broke the law, this is what happens. But can this be about something bigger, where they're going after folks that support Trump but may not have broken the laws? Or if they have broken the laws, having them sit in jail without bail, you're missing the fairness in it, or justice is lacking, if you will. What are your thoughts on it?
Hey, law and order has to sit next to context and compassion. So I think we should need a bipartisan panel to review all of this vindictive attacking of Democrats as they took power through the courts. There's a woman in Beverly Hills here who's just, you know what, she's probably not the most emotionally stable, passionate person. She got riled up in this. I mean, she's facing like 54 years. So we need to go through carefully and look at what happened in this situation. I don't know if that means some kind of outside congressional committee to do a review for this might be important, because if you go back through the 14,000 arrests during all of the George Floyd riots, okay, let's go review the tapes. Let's review everybody else that didn't actually get taken down. Let's use the same standard of law. Let's go back, by the way, and let's impeach Obama while he's out of office for things that he might have done in the Durham investigation as far as weaponizing the DOJ. I mean, justice, the standard of justice they're setting right now is basically threatening America. It's like Russia. It's like, hey, don't speak, don't be true. It's a really dangerous message.
I'll leave it right there. I'm out of time. Judd Dunning, good to see you, sir. Have a great weekend, all right?
And you as well. Thanks a lot.